Hello, I am Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the Player's Choice Godfest results as well as my impressions and reactions to the top 25. So, Player's Choice Godfest is one of the most exciting times in Puzzle & Dragons because it allows the player base to vote for what they want as a featured Godfest. So Gung Ho opens up the polls, we vote, and the top 25 make it into the roster. Now, with that being said, the number 1 and number 2 slot will actually be featuring 10 times rates instead of the 5 times rates that applies to the rest of the Godfest, as well as occurring alongside the plus 60 Carnival, which will result in plus 20 to all stats. Now, you can find the official announcement here on my website if you decide to read the article. Now, this Godfest is also announced at a great time because I'm actually moving this weekend, as you can see by the boxes and empty spaces behind me. So I had just enough time to write this out, but I will probably be disappearing for about a week's time. So here are the results for the October Player's Choice Godfest for 2017. So we have Ney in first place, then Yogg, Haku, Diao-chan, Anubis, and then Fujin, Amino, Tachibana, Indra, Kushinada Hime, No Hime, Skald, Ganesha, Ilm, Oichi, Sima Yi, Raphael, Liu Bei, Dark Kali, Nene, Paimon, Hino, Yomi, Orochi, and Ryune. So that brings us to a total of 9 6-star Godfest exclusives, 6 6-star Pantheons, 0 5-star Godfest exclusives, and 10 5-star Pantheons. So this is the most heavily weighted rarity Godfest to date in terms of Player's Choice Godfest. We have 15 out of the 25, which is actually 60% of the cards voted in being 6-star rarity. That is not ideal because 6-star rarity cards, whether they're Pantheon cards, which is equivalent to 5-star Godfest exclusives, have lower hit rates overall compared to 5-star Pantheons. Now, in my opinion, Player's Choice Godfest should be used to try and snipe out the desirable Pantheon monsters to avoid like the other cards in the family that are less ideal, such as like say Kushinada Hime, by far the best card in that Pantheon. You don't really want the others, so it's good to vote her in. But unfortunately, the meta has heavily shifted towards 6-star supremacy, whether it be Pantheons or Godfest exclusives. So because of that, there is a strong likelihood that we're going to be rolling lots of plus 60 silver eggs. Now, the actual results differ slightly from my predicted results. I predicted this would have been the Player's Choice Godfest roster in my previous post, and I'll discuss more about the cards that didn't make it in from my prediction list. By comparison, this is the Player's Choice Godfest from May 2017, with Haku actually being number 1. So Haku is actually still the most popular Pantheon card, coming at number 1 previously and number 3 this time. Now, what are the trends that we've been seeing? So obviously since the last Player's Choice Godfest that was featured in May, there have been shifts in the meta. Most noticeably, there has been a large decline in the popularity / power of Pantheon cards and leaders, but we still have a lot of the North American player base holding on to those teams that they love so dearly, because with the inclusion of Sima Yi, it's obvious that Dark Athena is still very popular, and Dark Kali is indicating that Raw Dragon is still a desirable card. Now, unfortunately, these two cards are nowhere near as well, like the teams they function on of Raw Dragon and Dark Athena are not as powerful as they used to be, but they still can clear plenty of older content. It's just that the newer like Challenge 10s, Colosseum to a certain extent, but also mostly Cosmic Trinity, they have more issues in by comparison to the newer and flashier leaders. However, one thing that did surprise me was that a large portion of the player base is actually quite well educated because they're actually looking very far ahead into what Japan has. Now, Japan has about a 3-month head start in terms of any new content that is released, so we can see that Japan has new evolutions coming out for certain 6-star Godfest exclusives that are very powerful. And while those 6-star Godfest exclusives have lower relevance or viability at this exact point in time, they gain a lot more viability moving forward in the future, and it's because of that that they got voted in. So I thought for a part of me was that part of the player base wouldn't be voting those in because it's too far away, maybe they're not informed about it. But then again, I guess to a certain extent that the players who do vote in Player's Choice Godfest are a little more gung-ho than the average player, and they may actually do their research, and that's why cards like Paimon made it in, who are very weak at this exact point in time, but gain significant value and viability with their future evolution. Now, finally, the Player's Choice Godfest naturally features newer cards that have been released because less people have them. You tend to vote for cards you don't have or cards that you need duplicates of. So these are my impressions of all the 25 voted in cards, so buckle up. Number 1 is Ney, who is also a 6-star Godfest exclusive. Now, I'm not surprised Ney took the top spot because she is the newest Godfest exclusive to be released. She has unlimited flexibility with 5 different evolution paths, as well as being able to form a tricolor board that makes hearts, dual 7 combo awakenings, bind immune, ability to clear binds, bind clear awakenings, and she's physically very attractive. So all of those put together makes her a desirable monster. So this is obviously a very powerful card to own, but some players are crying almost foul because the future Cotton and Kaminchubi, whose name I can't pronounce, are new Godfest exclusives in Japan that will come to North America at some point in time. And those two, most notably Cotton, tends to outpace Ney. So yes, Ney is very powerful, but some people are thinking, well, power creep is coming up with Cotton. But then again, we can apply power creep to anything that happens. In Japan, they're 3 months ahead, so to a certain extent, anything that we have now is going to feel disappointing by comparison. So it's kind of an awkward situation. Like, we get a new toy, we're like, great, super powerful. Then Japan gets a newer, flashier toy, and we're like, wow, we're so sad. So it's an awkward scenario to be in. But overall, Ney is still a very powerful card. And if you do want to have a more in-depth analysis of her, you can click this article here. Finally, Ney will be featured at 10 times rates on day 1. Number 2 is Yogg. Again, not a surprise because Yogg is an incredible powerhouse. But unlike Ney, he has significant more staying power in the current meta because there's nothing that's being released that's going to necessarily outpace or outclass him by comparison. There's no Cotton equivalent. And Yogg has tremendously explosive damage when matching just 2 light combos. So your player's skill will decrease, but your clearing rate will increase. It's a great card to own because of that reason. And he also has arguably one of the strongest active skills in the game. He heals the team, he creates a bicolor board of hearts and lights. That's incredible, as well as having bind clear at the same time. Like, just so much power all in one active skill. And he does struggle in longer content because of the health threshold clause, but in shorter content like Cosmic Trinity, we have him excelling because you can plan out skill boosts accordingly, use an active skill every turn, and just obliterate everything in your path. Furthermore, Yogg's active skill is great on any mono light team because it's so powerful, most notably an Amino, who is actually a very powerful leader for longer content. Haku is the most desirable Pantheon monster still this Godfest, and she comes in at number 3. So she remains popular because she has a desirable typing, has beneficial awakenings, a useful board changer, but she's found as a popular sub on Dark Athena and Kusanagi Hime teams, and the fact that you need usually 3 of her to make the team truly shine is indicative of why she's still in Player's Choice Godfest. People may have 1, maybe 2 Hakus, but you want a 3rd or 2nd. So that's why she's voted in, and I don't see her being popular for the foreseeable future, as these leaders are still relatively relevant moving forward for most players. Diao Chan is 4th place, and Diao Chan is a 6-star Pantheon. She has, which means that any 6-star Pantheon has similar hit rates to a 5-star Godfest exclusive, which was not featured at all in this Player's Choice Godfest. But the need to own Diao Chan has decreased, mostly because Diao Chan is an excellent Anubis sub, but that's mostly when you run double Anubis. You want 2 Diao Chans in order to cycle through an active skill every turn and have that wonderful time extend bonus. But if people are starting to use Anubis paired with Diabolus, the need for Diao Chan goes down because you don't need that active skill every turn. You're going to be hitting 8+ combos every turn, and Diabolus has a higher multiplier at 8 combos than Anubis does when Anubis does not use an active skill. So because of those reasons, Diao Chan has a lower need. So if you can plan out with your partner, you can make a 7x6 board of Diabolus, or in 3-player, everyone just picks 7x6 leaders. The Diabolus Anubis is going to lessen the need to own a Diao Chan. But regardless, we love her. She's great. She's beautiful. And that tasteful side boob is probably a factor in why she's so popular. Anubis is number 5. Now, Anubis is probably one of the strongest leaders available in the game. Yes, Diabolus makes him better because Diabolus makes him have higher consistency with 7x6 boards and a damage mitigation component. But even then, Anubis is still fantastic, even as dual Anubis. He has basically the highest multiplier in the game, effectively. And yes, Yogg can pump out explosive damage, but so can Anubis. So because of that, it's very valuable. And you can build teams that have lots of 7 combo awakenings. So even with 8 combos, you can still smash through a lot of content. It's also fun to play because pure combo teams just feel almost refreshing to play after we've had like heart crosses and other weird patterns in the past. So Anubis is a great card, and the only real fault I can find in him is that he has very few uses as a duplicate, because you just want him as a leader, not that great of an inherit. Fujin is a 6-star Godfest exclusive, and Fujin is the most universally accessible damage, void, absorb active that we can have. Basically, she counteracts spawns like Hera Dragon, Vishnu, and Sopdet, Parvati, and trivializes them. So because of that, it makes your life significantly easier, and I don't see Fujin ever falling out of favor unless something easier to acquire comes along. I highly doubt Gung Ho will do that, but let's say hypothetically that happens. That is a way to replace Fujin, but otherwise she's here to stay. Amino is another 6-star Godfest exclusive, and he or she, I don't know, has gained tremendous popularity over the past couple of months, not only because they're actually a very competent Arena 3 farmer, but I feel it's because the Final Fantasy Pixel Evolutions came out. Because with the Pixel Evolutions, you have access to this box awakening. So you form a 3x3 box of one color. That card who has the awakening deals bonus damage and ignores damage void shields. So Noah Dragon, Zeus Dragon, Gaia Dragon, those damage voids are ignored. And because of that, Amino is able to trivialize most of the Radar Dragon spawns, as well as Azoth potentially in Cosmic Trinity. Yogg is better at doing it, but regardless, Amino works pretty much just as well. And because of that, you're able to farm through a lot of content. And without the Pixel Awakenings, it'd still be a good leader, but Pixel Awakenings make him just that much more powerful. And we're also gaining access to a lot of powerful board changers like Nene and Yogg. Those are very powerful board changers you can utilize in Amino teams to further improve your progression. Tachibana is number 8 as a 6-star Pantheon. I'm a little surprised Tachibana is ranked this high. I'm not surprised they made the list, but they're ranked this high. And Tachibana is great because you have double 7 combos, so you're hitting incredibly hard. You have a board changer with the option of a shield and or +2 combos depending on which evolution you pick. They also can pair with Sakuya for a reasonable 7x6 leader, but they're making a very stellar sub on combo-based teams because they hit so hard and have a reasonably beneficial active skill. Indra is number 9, 5-star Pantheon, fantastic, stellar card all around. It is still your best shielding option for the most part. 3 turns shield of 75% damage reduction is hard to beat. Nothing really eclipses that at this point. So if you do get Indra, if you plan to use him as an inherit, I strongly advise you to keep him in his non-awoken or reincarnated form because the shield is better there. You only make the reincarnated form if you want to use it on combo-based teams, so there's time extents and a more natural access to a 2-turn damage reduction shield. Finally, you never can really have too many Indras because you want to inherit them all around. Kushinada Hime is number 10, and she was one of the most popular Pantheon leaders of last Player's Choice Godfest because she has a lot of great things going for her. She has now the potential to pair with Diablos for even more consistency, but she has naturally high health from the multiplier. She has naturally high recovery from the healers being comprised on her team, and she also has perfect damage control and reasonably high damage output. Yes, her damage output is lower than Anubis, but you have that damage control and going for yourself. However, her team building options are a little more restricted than Anubis because you have to use healers, but the problem with Kushinada Hime is you have lower damage output, and that is a little problematic when dungeons have outrageously high health. And what I want to really stress is that the perfect damage control was her big selling point before, but now we don't really need perfect damage control by comparison. We have follow-up attack, we have the box awakening, and we have Fujin style actives, so the need for that control is kind of thrown out the window, and the no Skyfall clause is now sometimes almost a handicap because you're preventing yourself from getting that lucky Skyfall to further boost your damage output. So she is still very powerful, but because of all these newer options available, the need to have a Kushinada Hime compared to Anubis is a little lower. No Hime is very similar to Tachibana in that double 7 combo. Powerful board changer, or reasonably powerful board changer for combo teams with a shield and or combo count, depending on the form, is valuable. But she brings 3 skill boosts, which is very powerful when playing through 3-player Cosmic Trinity because you have enough skill boosts to have active skills ready in time. Skald is number 12, very powerful 6-star Godfest exclusive, has follow-up attack, has double 7 combo awakening, has a tri-elemental board changer that makes hard orbs, and she is the only current follow-up attack option featured. I know that Ryune and Paimon gain follow-up attack in future evolutions, but I'm a little surprised that Erd and Verdandi did not make it in because outside of Skald, there's no other follow-up attack option at this exact point in time for this Player's Choice Godfest. But regardless, Skuld is incredible on combo teams. She's fantastic on Blue Hunter because it's on color and just deals explosive amounts of damage. Ganesha remains the only card in the entire game who can boost or augment your rank experience gained from clearing a dungeon. Now, this is going to remain desirable for the foreseeable future because you need to have something like this when you start entering the higher ranks, because you can help time your rank ups to save stamina for more desirable times, or even just rank up because it's hard to chain those rank ups beforehand. So Ganesha is incredibly powerful, and if you have one Ganesha, I strongly suggest you do not awaken him because you lose that experience buffing leader skill component. So you want to keep him in the non-awoken form. But let's say you have multiple Ganeshas, you can obviously pursue the awoken form if that's desirable to yourself. Furthermore, Ganesha actually works as a powerful inherit because Ganesha has a 1 turn of full damage immunity, as well as either a board enhance for non-awoken and orb unlock in awoken form. So a powerful utility card to have even outside of rank experience. Ilm is a 6-star Godfest exclusive. Ilm has gained a lot of popularity because ranking dungeons are now favoring bicolor boards as well as 7x6 boards. So Ilm fits perfectly because Ilmina exists. So you basically have Ilm, Ilmina, you do just bicolor board, hopefully pray for that perfect split for 14 combos every time. Trivializes a lot of content. Ilm is just great for those ranking tournaments as well as being valuable on Yogg teams. Oichi is another 6-star Pantheon card, and Oichi may look a little strange at first glance because her leader skill prevents you from matching sets of 3. So your combo count is naturally diminished, and you're also a little more orb hungry because you need 2 sets of wood to activate your multiplier, which means 8 wood orbs, which is not statistically likely on a given board. However, she has tremendous viability in 3-player Cosmic Trinity because you can form these carry teams that can deal with the end spawns with relative ease, because in Cosmic Trinity, you can basically budget a couple of an active skill per turn to basically mow your way through the content and then unload your kill board potential at the end. However, her uses don't stop there because her board changer actually has great synergy for Anubis teams as well as Kushinada Hime. On Anubis teams, you get the Dark and Wood, so it helps the Diabolus because he actually gets some fun. And Kushinada Hime likes Haku and herself, so both of those two are dealing great damage. So Oichi does have a lot more value than what first glance you may have. Sima is probably one of the most disappointing inclusions this Player's Choice Godfest because, yes, I know Dark Athena is still popular, but Haku outclasses Sima in most regards, pretty much every regard. Has an arguably better board active skill, has better awakenings, has a better base stat distribution, and is easier to obtain. Sima is 6-star, Haku's 5-star, so Haku's doing things better than Sima. And the only real merit I can see to Sima bringing is the fact that he has an orb unlocking component. But for the most part, Dark Athena teams don't really face content that has locked orbs because she's great at Arena 3 farming. So Sima doesn't really fulfill these purposes very well. So it's a little disappointing that he was included, and I feel that it really shouldn't have been, in my opinion. That's why it wasn't in my prediction list either. But again, I guess Dark Athena is that popular, and maybe because it's a little rare, people don't have them, people want the new toy. Raphael is number 17, and it may look unusual because Raphael is an unusual card. He has a very unique active skill that no one else does. In his non-awoken form, he makes a full board of hearts and 2 turns of full damage immunity. Great, you can survive and get a full heal. Furthermore, you can combo those heartos with an orb changer, so you can make an explosive kill board. Other options are very valuable. His awoken form gives you 1 turn of damage immunity, but you heal 30% of your health every turn for 3 turns. That's an interesting concept overall. However, one thing that I want to stress is that Raphael actually has found new merit as a full board farming team. We are very familiar with how Liu Bei works in Zeus Dioses, but you can pair Raphael with virtually anyone and function as a no Skyfall leader, because if you use a full board changer and match every single orb, Raphael is delivering a sizable amount of damage from his multiplier to everything. And unlike Dark Metatron, who's another no Skyfall leader for farming purposes, Raphael does not have a health clause threshold to meet, and he does not have any typing restrictions. So Raphael can pair with anyone. So this is an interesting concept. So you can expand your farming potential with Awoken Raphael if you want to go a little bit faster. Liu Bei is number 18, and Liu Bei is essentially the king of co-op farming for the average player because he is a 5-star Pantheon, so thus easier to acquire. But Zeus Dioses and Tengus are both farmable, and that comprises your skill boost and your full board changers. So he's very popular for that reason. But a lot of people are now starting to turn their eyes towards the green starter dragon because Pixel Brachys forms 100 times leader when connecting 9 wood orbs. So you replace Liu Bei as your leader of Pixel Brachys, and you have a higher damage dealing card that has the option to use the Box Awakening. But the only drawback of Pixel Brachys is that it has 1 less skill boost, which Tengus solve, and is vulnerable to binds. You can probably inherit a bind clearer anyways. So, do we need a Liu Bei? Maybe if you're really lazy, you don't want to like alter or change teams, but Pixel Brachys can kind of replace Liu Bei to a certain extent, which is a strange concept, so maybe I should find my starter dragons. Dark Kali is number 19. She is a 6-star Godfest exclusive who I am surprised made it in because yes, she is a pivotal sub on Raw Dragon, but Raw Dragon teams are on the decline. It's not to say that Raw Dragon is a terrible leader, but it's just that he struggles in more current content because the damage output is too diluted and scattered. He's a rainbow-based team that has rainbow-y cards, so your damage is not very well concentrated, and because of that, Raw Dragon is going to have some issues in current content because you just don't deal enough damage. So Dark Kali is still a good card, but the only way she fits is well on Raw Dragon teams who are on the decline. So unless Raw Dragon or Dark Kali receives a super sexy evolution or buff, I don't really foresee them being in the next Player's Choice Godfest, and I'm really surprised they're even in this one. Nene is number 20, and they are another 6-star Pantheon card. And in my predictions, I predict that Inahime would make it in instead of Nene, but perhaps the allure of Blue Hunter sub is quite strong because Nene is a very powerful sub for Blue Hunter teams. Now, the issue of Inahime is that Inahime can form a carry team like Oichi for Cosmic Trinity because they have access to Tsubakis. Oichi has Mito. Nene does not have anyone equivalent for those super 9 times damage through Killer Awakening. So, yes, I know that Yogg is a better carry team option, but Inahime and Oichi may be more feasible to build for the average player. But with all that being said, Nene is still viable in 3-player Cosmic Trinity because you can make it as a more supportive team because you can stack Whale Doors for massive skill boost to have Fujin ready in time for floor 6 in case you get the Hanuman, who is a terrible and stupid spawn in that dungeon. So Nene does have merits still in 3-player Cosmic Trinity, just not as the carry kill team for the final bosses. And last but not least, their board changer does have value on Amino teams because it produces light, hearts, water, and bind clearing. Paimon is a 6-star Godfest exclusive, and I'm a little surprised he made it in, not because he's a weak card, but because his value is going to come into play in the future. We don't know when his new evolution is going to come out, but when it does, it's going to be a very powerful follow-up attack option on mono-light teams. People have been using Mamaji for the most part, but Paimon will be superior, and while Saria does have more value at this exact point in time, Paimon has superior stats and a lower base cooldown, so he may have more merits on those mono-light teams that need the follow-up attack. And his massive health is actually quite appealing, so you can stay in that health zone a little easier. So Paimon is a powerful card. I'm just a little surprised he got voted in because he's not going to come into value until a long point in time. It's kind of like a long-term investment we've made. But then again, he's a 6-star Godfest exclusive, so he's going to be a harder roll. And that's why I put Saria in my prediction list instead of Paimon. Now we come to Hino, and this is really the what the Fujin moment that we've been really experiencing. Like, how is Hino voted into Player's Choice Godfest? Like, how could this actually happen? Like, wow. Like, are people hoping to roll Hino to farm Tri-Monster Challenge modes to get more stones to roll more in Player's Choice Godfest? This doesn't really make sense. And I know one of my long-time readers have pointed out that maybe it's because Hino is the very first card you see when you open the voting tab, and people may or may not have been super lazy that they couldn't scroll, so they clicked Hino. Or maybe Gung-Ho wanted to put a random fire monster in because there is no fire monster outside of Hino. But even then, this is a horribly silly vote. Like, I don't see Hino having any merits or value in the near time future. Yes, it makes a little bit easier time when you're swiping through Tri-Monster Challenge, but Pair of Friends Hino. Like, yes, it's a 5-star Pantheon, which I'm happy to see voted in, but not this one. Now we come to Yomi as another 5-star Pantheon. Yomi is another questionable vote in my opinion, and I can really fathom 2 scenarios where you want to have Yomi. for the players who voted for him. It's a time extend stick on combo-based teams or Dark Athena. Or they're a budget combo leader to pair of Diablos. Now, neither scenario is truly ideal because, yes, it provides 2 seconds of orb movement time, but we have other options that can do that as well with lower base cooldowns and sexier awakenings. Yomi provides nothing but time extend. The awakenings don't help the average combo team because there's no 7 combo attributed alongside of it, and his base cooldown is a little long. It's challenging to inherit something over top of it. It's kind of in this awkward place where it's like not super long, that makes it a powerful active skill, but it's not short enough to inherit over top, so it's just kind of an awkward place at this point in time. Furthermore, yes, you can pair of Diablos for a budget combo team, but there are better options out there. Kind of a strange scenario. I'm a little surprised to see Yomi. I didn't really think Yomi is that good. Orochi sneaks in at number 24. I would have been truly disappointed if Orochi did not make it in, and Yomi and Hino did. But Orochi is the best delay option we have available, outside of perhaps Dark Athena, but that's a 750,000 monster point purchase, which is a different story. But Orochi allows you to have 4 or 5 turns of delay on 20 or 25 turns, depending on which evolution you choose. But Orochi can also make a powerful sub on water teams, because you have 4 TPAs and quick access to a powerful delay. Strong card overall. And I've managed to get my first one recently after 1,400 plus days, so I was pretty happy. Now, Ryune is number 25 and is a 6-star Godfest exclusive. And Ryune does compete very heavily with Scald for water follow-up attack options because she does have less 7 combos, but her board changer is a little stronger overall because you get haste, but you produce dark instead of wood orbs. And I feel that Dark Orbs are a little more powerful overall because it has more applications across different teams, most notably Dark Athena, or any dark team really. But Ryune does have the potential to pair with Mary very efficiently to grant a shielding component, and is a better alternative to people who've been using Neptune Dragon as Mary pairings. So Ryune is a powerful card, and I am a little happy to see her, but again, there's too many 6-stars in my opinion. So, comparing to my predictions, so these were my predicted 25, and these are the 7 that did not make it in. So, like I said earlier on, I placed Saria as a vote for light follow-up attack. I thought it would beat out Paimon because Paimon doesn't have value at this point in time. Saria has a bit more value right now, so people might be kind of persuaded by that. But perhaps she's suffering from the 5-star Godfest exclusive syndrome in that people may already have enough Sarias in their monster box, so you don't actually need to vote or roll anymore. And this can actually possibly apply to Erd and Verdandi, even Tsubaki as well, because in every Godfest you may end up rolling those 5-star Godfest exclusives instead, and you have enough of them lying around so you don't need to. But for Tsubaki, I am a little surprised because you do want duplicates of him, or her I should say, and she has double Dragon Killers, so she's dealing 9 times damage to dragons. And that's incredibly powerful because it can trivialize a lot of powerful and dangerous spawns, because for the most part, almost everyone and their mother is a dragon in Puzzle and Dragons. So I thought they would be included because it's just so powerful overall. And likewise, Erd and Verdandi are great follow-up attack options available. However, I guess the Dragon Bounds like Saria, Ryune, and I guess to a lesser extent Sylvie will gain follow-up attack. But I thought they would have a little more value right now for players because it gives another option to them. But then again, maybe people already have them already, so less need to vote them in. Inahime is something I'm surprised because Inahime is a very powerful card. And even though Hino is a 5-star Pantheon, I would rather not roll Hino. Like, you really don't want to roll a Hino, but you want to roll an Inahime. So I would love to have those two switched. I'm really surprised Hino made it in still. I put Isis in because, yes, it could work on Raw Dragon teams, but it also works very well on your Blue Hunter teams as a bind clearing option, because Isis has a 3-turn cooldown. You can stick her on the team, you can clear binds, but what you could really do is you could inherit a different skill, use it turn 1, and then have the bind clear charge up in time to clear them later on. However, maybe people are thinking they're just going to roll so many nays and make them the blue form for bind clearing options, but oh well. Not a huge loss. Like, I have enough Isises that I don't really care for them. And Loki I included because I know North America likes Dark Athena, and I'm surprised CME made it in over Loki. But then again, Loki is an older Pantheon card, so people may already have him, and duplicates of Loki are not very desirable for the most part. So, in conclusion, this Player's Choice Godfest is the heaviest 6-star one to date. We have 15 6-star rarities voted in out of 25, so it can be very challenging to actually roll anything featured because the rolling rates are going to be distressingly low for those cards. So it does come as part of a sad consequence to the fact that 6 stars are the dominating force in the meta. And it's not really the player base's fault for voting in so many 6 stars. It's the fault that really Gung-Ho is pushing the super rare cards that are valuable and meta at this point in time. So let me know what you think about this Player's Choice Godfest in the comments below. Do you like this top 25? Do you think the roster is reasonably potent or powerful? Do you think certain cards should have made it in to meet your expectations for your own personal predictions? Let me know what you think about in the comments below. Also, let me know if you plan on rolling and how much stones you've budgeted as well. I wish you all the best of luck in your own Puzzle & Dragons adventures, and happy puzzling. On a completely side and somewhat relevant note, I am actually moving this weekend, so this might be the last thing I produce for maybe a week's time frame as I just need to move things and get settled in. So